Am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor that her kid is acting like an a-hole, and that's why none of the other kids want to play with him? I, 30F, live on a fairly close-knit street where lots of kids play together. One neighbor couple, 25F and 31M stepdad, but kid calls him dad. They met when she was 20 and he was 25 going on 26. Has a 9-year-old son who has been increasingly left out by the other children. Honestly, I can't blame them. This kid constantly punches, kicks, and threatens the other kids. He's stolen toys, pushed a smaller child into the road, and torments animals, including throwing things at a blind, elderly dog in our neighborhood. Today was the final straw. Within just a few hours, this kid gave a 4-year-old a black eye, threw stones at passing cars, stole another kid's phone, and threw it down a storm drain. Used a Nerf sniper to target practice on a 1-year-old in a stroller. Naturally, this caused a massive uproar. A group of angry parents and kids gathered outside the family's house. When the boy ran home, his mom came out confused and trying to calm everyone down. I'll admit, she's usually kind, but she uses gentle parenting and doesn't discipline her son. Ever. Later, she and I were talking in the garden, and she said she doesn't understand why her son can't make friends. She described him as just spirited and just exploring himself, and suggested it was the other kids who needed to be more understanding. That's when I told her bluntly, the reason he can't make friends, and the reason people keep complaining, is because he's acting like an AH. Every time he's outside, he's either hurting someone, breaking something, or harassing people and animals. And you don't do anything about it. Even when there's undeniable proof in front of you, you excuse it as kids being kids and then tell him it's okay because he's just expressing himself. She asked for one example of when she's done that, and I said, today. After all the parents told you what he did, I bet he's inside playing video games like nothing happened. Her response was, that's just roughhousing. Stuff breaks. People get hurt. When has he actually done anything bad? So I brought up how he torments the elderly blind dog next door and the horrible names he calls her. Stuff like BTCH, Sinti, and WH***. I asked if her husband talks like that around him. She said no, he heard it from an uncle. Then I told her about when he tried to call me stuff like that, and I had said, say that again and Santa won't come. I know him and I'll tell him, and make sure you don't get toy he had written in his Christmas letter that his mother told me about. And he stopped. I told her to try it. It worked. She said it's not my place to discipline him. I agreed, it's not my place. But if she doesn't step up and actually parent him, he's going to end up unable to function socially. I told her, honestly, that I know she means well, but sometimes love without limits hurts more in the long run. She blew up at me, said discipline is abuse, that taking away toys or making him apologize, things I suggest she do to teach him that he did wrong, would cause trauma, and that I'm sick for even suggesting consequences. To clarify, I was not suggesting anything like corporal punishment or taking away food or anything, just to ground him, take away his toys for a few days and make him apologize to everyone he hurt individually. She also threw in that I know nothing about kids, and that I can't and shouldn't have any, and made personal attacks based on things I'd previously confided in her. A few hours later, her husband came to my door demanding to know what I'd said, because his wife was upset and refusing to eat, and told him I said their kid was a ret******. I never said that, or anything close to that. I told him what I told her. Your kid needs consequences, or this behavior will just get worse. He started with the kids will be kids line, but clearly hadn't been told the whole story, so I listed off what happened today. Apparently, his wife had downplayed everything as little accidents. He went home, they had a fight, and now my partner and another neighbor, an older woman behind us, are saying I should have just stayed out of it, and I'm just causing drama. But I'm not going to let her tell him I said something like that. All I told him was the truth. So, am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor her kid is an AH and apparently triggering a fight between her and her husband for telling him the truth? Edit reading some comments total forgot to mention, but he is a stepdad. They've been together since she was 20, and he was I think 25 turning 26. It's just because the kid calls him dad and the bio dad isn't in the picture, totally forgot to mention.